Whatever it is, if there's anything to be done about it, best keep it out of the hands of politicians. But don't tell that to the congressman representing the 6th District of Texas. In our #1 story in the countdown, there's the Sugar Bowl, the Orange Bowl, the Rose Bowl, the Fiesta Bowl, and then there's communism. And as far as the good congressman is concerned, there's not much daylight among them. A congressional hearing today on the Bowl Championship Series, BCS. The general idea, explore the possibility of adopting a playoff system for college football, and the issue is taken up by the Commerce, Trade, and Consumer Protection Subcommittee of the House Energy and Commerce Committee. Congressman Joe Barton of Texas, barely audible over the din of activity. Well, maybe not. The congressman having ample opportunity to espouse his well-honed views before the few in attendance. First, Congressman Barton had fun with letters.
You should either change your name to BES for Bowl Exhibition System, or just drop the C and call it the BS system, because it's not about determining the championship on the field.
Oh, see, the congressman made it funny. Then it was time for the new Red Scare. We're not talking about Nebraska or even Cornell.
It's interesting that people of goodwill, and I think everybody on whatever side of the issue you are on this one is a person of goodwill, keep trying to tinker with the current system, and it's to my mind a little bit like, and I don't mean this directly, but it's like communism. You can't fix it. It will not be fixable.
Let's turn now to comedian Paul F. Tompkins, the host of VH1's Best Week Ever, who's doing the laughing there that the witness was trying to avoid doing. Good evening, Paul.
Good evening, Keith.
So did Congressman Barton just blow the lid off the communist takeover of the college football championship system?
Yeah, in the sense that he was pointing at the absence of a lid and then saying to people, look, there's no lid here, right? So it stands to reason if I'm the one telling you that there's no lid here, I must be the one that has blown the lid off.
Yes.
It's like one of those logic puzzles where it turns out the doctor was a woman.
Yeah. Now, the Lord knows here that there's been a lot said and a lot criticized, and there's a lot to criticize about the college football rankings and the system. But communism? I mean, did the congressman take one look at that hearing room and decided, you know, I can see a bombshell here, but what, socialism? No, that's fascism. No, communism. Yeah, that's it, communism.
Yeah, it's the old Manchurian quarterback. I think that this almost makes me feel sorry for the Republican Party, because this is what they're reduced to. This is such grasping at straws to be doing something. It's like between Bush and Sarah Palin and Bobby Jindal and Michael Steele, they're like a rainbow coalition of incompetence. They have really wrecked this party.
But now, if they win the 2010 midterms on a let's revamp the college football playoff system or postseason,
I will eat my hat.
Yeah, you'll have to leave the country.
Absolutely, of course. I'll go right to France.
The problem is there is a little bipartisan corner to this, because the president expressed an interest, was actually on the record. He wouldn't say anything about whether or not he'd ever entertained Barry Bonds at the White House, but he did say that, you know, he thought a college football playoff system might be a good idea. I mean, do you think he's having second thoughts here, that he may have indirectly encouraged this poorly attended spectacle?
Well, I mean, you know, baby steps, I guess you could say. You know, take what you can get. I'm sure he's disappointed this didn't make the first 100 days coverage. You know, if only you guys hadn't focused so much on the dog, we could have seen some real progress.
Yeah, maybe the commissioner, the head of the BCS, could make that Supreme Court shortlist. Are we accustomed to certain politicians by now caring passionately about issues that are of, you know, political interest in any event to almost nobody else?
Yeah, without a doubt. And I think this is actually almost an awkward attempt to go the other way, where it's sort of like, okay, people don't like torture. Fine. What do they like? Football. Let's try to get associated with that, and maybe it'll just kind of rub off on us. Fellas, let's all start carrying footballs on C-SPAN.
Now, when there was, when they went after the baseball steroid users and human growth hormone users, there was a certain, at least there was, a breaking of the law perhaps in there, or a fraud going in on that. This is just somebody who does not like the admittedly flawed system of the postseason in college football. If a congressional subcommittee can spend time on this without its members voluntarily handing back their salaries for the hours this took, what's next?
Oh, Keith, I hold here in my hand a list of 200 cashiers who put coins on top of the bills when they give you change. The coins slide all over the place, and you have to pick them up off the floor.
Well, you have your finger on the pulse of what's bothering America right now.
I like to think that I do.
Well, or it's somewhere else. I'm not going to say where that other possibility might be. Paul F. Tompkins, the host of VH1's Best Week Ever. As always, great. Thanks. Have a good weekend, Paul.
You too, Keith.
The Republican Party searches for meaning in the political minority. They have been finding evidence of communism under all sorts of new rocks. Republican Congressman Joe Barton of Texas today found evidence of communism in college football's bowl championship series. At a hearing on Capitol Hill today, he advocated for a playoff system to replace the BCS's computer and formula-determined national championship game.
It's like communism. You can't fix it. It will not be fixable. Sooner or later, you're going to have to try a new model.
Most priceless of all is the look on the face of the witness he's talking to. The witness is like, seriously? Communism? Am I supposed to respond to that? No, sir, you are not supposed to respond to that. You leave that to us professionals here on cable TV.